Well, I am homeless in the threatening, and I don't know you in the money. I did homeless in the threatening fall asleep from your point of view. From my point of view, it's not holding alive anymore. And I've been doing that a long time, but it's homeless in the threatening. That means I am leaving the formed world myself. So what will happen is I don't know you mentally ill. That means now you're mentally ill and you don't have diagnosis from just myself of every one of you who are not myself. And I also don't have someone who works for me who would diagnose you as mentally ill and give you freakishly evil inpatient hospitalization when you need a place to stay in your leverage. That means I don't give you what you need for yourself, with yourself, by yourself, or anything about yourself. You're doing jails and prisons, but you're consuming keys that have leverage on themselves. And maybe that's why, but it's not due to say that to me. That's due that you might be in a prison and be disappointed that you don't have pursue the leverage is just not fighting back with you because it's a building or it's a house or it's a car. It's not due for you to be turning the door locking because it's a building, it's a house, or it's a car. Doesn't fight back with you once you turn the key of the door locking. And so it's everybody doing that. But you are all in different leverage with myself. I am chanting the virginity right here, that you don't have enough leverage to ask for my virginity for yourselves. That it was illegal anyway, but I was living in it because if I don't, I would die out of the formed world prematurely. That means I don't want to die the wrong way because I don't have leverage to alive myself the wrong way. And I find I am deceased right here, but I can't use just one of you who penises to break my virginity so that I can kill the whole creation to myself. Thus, you not knowing how that is in heaven. You don't know what heaven is. If you're a hoopiness who broke my virginity, you don't know what heaven is. You don't know why it's virginity. You don't know what virginity is. You think it's just that I didn't ask you for myself and get it. And you didn't go away with a piece of me and get it. So I can't say that I would use Charles Toe Hoopiness as someone who would break my virginity and take my housing with that I did not step himself. And then that means that I didn't make an agreement with his ask problem. Do you know that Charles Toe ever asked me a question? You don't know because Charles Toe doesn't really announce that he asked me a question anywhere else. Charles Toe didn't announce anywhere else that he asked me a question. So I'm directing this video at a comment I received that said, acknowledged in the comment what it heard in a video. Well, I will say that it's in the video, but it's not due in the comments. that Charles Toe did sexually abuse myself. Are you not a police officer? Because if you're a police officer and you made a comment on the internet, did Charles Toe sexually abuse yourself? How do I know you're not a police officer? I would give you the criminal edit that you are a police officer and you said Charles Toe sexually abused yourself. That's you needing to put yourself as a police officer in jail and prison. You don't respond to somebody's video like that in a comment. You have to put yourself in jail and then prison and die of that. You just don't know anything more than something undesirable like that. And you have to be premeditated, malicious with other people who hold and open and move the door locking in jails and prisons, like where you are. You can't just snap right back a comment, oh, did Charles Toe sexually abuse yourself? Is that because you're not a very nice person? You should have saved yourself. No, it's not really like that. I didn't file a police report with you. The internet, I have to post the videos on the internet because I post them because myself deceased here. You have illegal alive formed world. You have illegal alive door locking and formed world and illegal alive human being shunts with illegal alive genitals. Specifically, the genital penis is illegal, whether it's a penis or it's castrated into a female. So I can't tell you that there's something that I would ask you for. I would not. If you're just not going into jail and prison, that's one of the comments I can see. But I will just make this statement. I did look at the statistics of the YouTube channel, one of the two that I'm using, and it said that there are 160 comments. And I just want to testify that I think I've only read some of them. That looks like a higher count of comments than I have been reading. Yeah, I did read comments, but that I don't think I did read 160 comments. That sounds like a high number. So for the comments that I did read, maybe there are other comments that I don't see, but I saw this one. I saw the one that says, so did Charles Toe did sexually abuse yourself? You don't say that to someone who's giving testimony. I am giving testimony to the internet. I didn't say file a complaint, find Charles Toe, and punish himself in the public. I'm not supposed to have to say that because that's not true that I would be elsewheres in that scenario. That means I'm giving testimony to myself deceased. You're illegally alive in the public, and you're trying to talk to me about myself because you don't want to know that there is bad news to yourself, that you have to know about it without talking to me about myself immediately. Why are there comments? Because is God just not eliminating that comment so that I don't see it? Because it's true that I'm not done. I'm not finished. When I'm finished, I'll be deceased out of the door locking and I'm not here anymore. So that's why I'm not interested in the comment, oh, did Charles Toe sexually abuse yourself? That's you being wrong in the head. You need to go to prison and have your head in prison with that. I'm not really here to answer your questions. I'm actually making a video about the comment, and it looks like you don't have enough leverage to make the comment anymore. That's how I'm going to put it down. The one who made the comment, I acknowledge that because maybe there are others who are, I don't know, mentally that low. Can you see this? Maybe you're very interesting that you're as low as you are mentally, that you say things like no, not, and never directly to myself about myself, and you don't have to answer to anyone else. You're not afraid of anything coming after you. And maybe some people mimight call that SUCK, suck. like suck the threatening that God is making from heaven, that it doesn't move around yourself the way you move the threatening around myself to myself, is how I will say that. For example, me. But I think somewhere along the line I should find that it's not alive. I want to say that it's not alive because that might have something to do with Charles Toe being a sex offender. And well, I wouldn't really be able to stop him, would I? So just like your comment, don't you just post it on the internet for anyone who can see it? They can just read it. Yeah, I didn't post it. I think they know I didn't post it by the user image and the username of the comment itself, even though it's about a video that you don't identify as one that you posted yourself. I would identify it to myself, but maybe not to everyone. That means you know who I am in the video, but who posted it. I know who posted it. Yeah. So I'm going to use the comment, although it was hurtful, I'm going to use the comment to describe that that is something that is in the leverage into a live of the formed world by myself that I'm going to die out of. That means if you think it's terrible, so do I think it's terrible, and I'm going to die as that will be a cause of death of myself. One of, I have more than one cause of death is why I'm still here. So I need time to decease myself out of that. It's terrible that the sexual abuse is being reported to myself and pretty much hooked, right? What are you going to do about it? Because you're idling the threatening that you're not in prison right now. In advance of making such a comment, if you're premeditated, malicious, angry, in advance of making such a comment in God because you don't own all of God, you don't actually do the motion. You have genitals that don't do that motion, which is alive that the comment is visible by myself. That's me who alives that. I make that possible, but it's against myself. That means I find you in contempt of myself. That's how Charles Toe got angry with me. And now this comment is angry with me, even though it's someplace else. I would say it's not here where I am. Well, I need myself deceased. And I don't afford to answer your questions while you're standing there with your shoes on and executing my leverage to yourself. And you want me to say thank you to you for myself because you disrupt the creation of myself and you dismiss the creator of myself. None higher than he is deceased right here. That means I'm disclosing that he killed the creator of myself with the comment, and the creator of myself made it in view here. That means I have, that is threatening myself, but that's not the only threatening to myself. And maybe other comments are threatening, but I have disclosed that the precondition of me even seeing any comments about videos that I'm posting on the internet because I died out of just deleting them off the cameras. So for the internet commentator who just said, "Oh, Charles Toe sexually abused yourself," and I did receive the comment and I identify who is yourself is myself to myself and who is Charles Toe. I know who that is, and you don't, or you do by the name on the internet contract. So that's how you're able to see that. So that was always threatening who is Charles Toe, because why would I be using Charles Toe internet account? Well, I have to report that there are over 1,000 videos on the sexual abuse of Charles Toe by myself is not true. That's Charles Toe being an attacker, and he he deceased my leverage to himself, but he's too small to do that, is why he's not here now. He doesn't have enough leverage to do that with himself and to survive myself. He did not survive myself, but I'm here, and that Charles Toe is not holding alive anymore in this apartment. I don't know where he is. He could be holding alive someplace else, and I just can't confirm that with myself. So I have to say it this way. There's something wrong with me having to give this extensive video description of one comment. I think you don't have your comments paid for, because you put me through it this much. I died between the time I read the comment and here that I'm making the video, and I can't afford that you stand in front of me with a pair of shoes on and maybe some keys in your hand or in your pocket or in a purse if you're a female, and you try to talk to me about myself. I don't have that in time and space correctly, but I am describing that your comments are, to myself, the comments are so excessive that they are just as if you were standing right in front of me, and you don't have a life that way, and I don't have a life that way, but there are landlords right here that are jerking my front door locking and putting me to sleep all the time. You can't do that. I sleep you if you're near myself. And if you're in Fremont Gardens, Las Vegas, Nevada, Fremont Gardens Apartments Complex, Las Vegas, Nevada, I sleep you in here. And your shunning is because I'm here. It can't also be that you stand close to me and you threaten to knock on the door because you know which door it is, and that you talk to me about myself and that you refuse to leave, or you threaten to walk into the door and move everything around. It can't be that as well. That's how I'm not alive here anymore. I have to disclose myself as deceased. I did not survive that you are that type of entities here. You outnumber myself, and you're too low for what I am. I want the person who wrote the comment to view this video, but it's not in order until it's done. It's in order once the person has viewed the video. What does he think of it? I care what he thinks about it because I don't want him to threaten the front door. I care what he thinks about it because I'm not in a walled-in prison with deceased address where I can fight with him over that. I know who Charles Toe is, and I don't identify you as Charles Toe. I don't, so why should I have to answer your question? You have genitals. I didn't accuse you of being Charles Toe, and I didn't accuse you of being a sex offender to myself that witnesses myself. I would know that. Well, why are you talking over it? That's you needing a urologist. You're in a prison in that scenario, and you need to see a urologist come right at you and put you in the morgue. And I'm not a urologist. That would never be me. You're making a comment to someone. I don't afford it if he was really right here, and I don't see why not, because my address is public, because I want myself deceased. I don't want to live here anymore. I want a death on myself because I don't like you. I want a death on myself because it's not safe to be around you. Nope, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I don't believe you, and I don't need you. You don't hold in your comments. You don't say a comment like that and hang up like as though I will just have to live with it now. Nope. You didn't suck it into yourself and you say, I can't make this comment. I can't make this comment. Explode your head and go into jail and prison. Goodbye. That was your problem, whatever you thought about it. And then once you're in the jail, you have to think about something about yourself that's in there in confinement. If you're in confinement in jail, you think about yourself. You don't actually think about me anymore. You might think, why am I in here? That's still you wondering, why do you think about something that puts you in jail? That's still you. That's really where you need to be. Are you somebody who says, oh, did Charles Toe sexually abuse yourself, to the comment as though I'm the only reader? And that's not true. It's to everyone who reads it. So they're going to say, that's not myself that the comment is directed at, because the comments are being like read by people who have other usernames. So they to themselves don't say that's I. Nobody says I. I say I know who I am. That's you needing to know who you are, and you go to jail and prison and you think about why you think about me. And that's still you thinking about it. That's you being in jail for a prison problem. You don't want to be in there for that. But that's too bad that you already are that way. You have some kind of debt that has nothing to do with me. Yes, but you're about to make it personal. You want to make it a now problem. You want to threaten me with your shoes and keys. You want to threaten me with high-speed traffic. I don't make light of the comment at all. I need myself deceased out of the door locking akshav because I don't want to answer your question with myself and all of my leverage and all that I am to myself, and I am myself eternal right here. You're not safe to my eternal self-existence. I can talk about myself being eternal right here, and I don't want to include you, that you're somebody who said, oh, I'm sorry to hear Charles Toe sexually abused yourself. I don't want to think about that in eternity. Not about you, the commentator, or about Charles Toe being a sex offender. That's not something I want to hold and keep in eternity. That's how hurtful you are if I was up above the heavens and looking down at what you are. But I'm not. I don't have myself formed that way. I'm formed here in the Godhead with feminine genitals on the Godhead. It's illegal, but that's how I'm here. I'm able to exist in a low, small, illegal problem, but you made it so illegal. I'm going to die of that. I don't hold myself alive and illegal. It's some kind of, I don't know, you want to know if I'm in it with you, and I don't think so. I have to decease myself so that I can say it's no at that point.